the Venus Project. Yes.
You mentioned a universal language. Are you speaking about something like Esperanto?
No, that wouldn't do. Or interlingua?
Yes.
No, that wouldn't do. The language has to have a physical reference. In other words, that means that, suppose we took some tungsten and hit it with high-pitched sound, and bouncing off that tungsten, a pattern occurred on a screen that looked like that. Now, this was the nickel, and this is the iron, and we learned how to chart that pattern. When you wrote tungsten, you do this in the future. So it's always like chemistry, like a pharmacologist reads a prescription, assuming the doctor's handwriting is good. Looks at that prescription, and it turns out the same product. We don't want individuality in that area. We want uniformity. Is there a place for individuality? You know, in the next few years, the word individuality will go the way all the other crude and vulgar terms went. Individuality, when you buy a Mercedes, if you can afford it, and you turn the key, you want it to start, not sometimes, all the time. And when you turn, you want it to turn. And when you put the brakes on, you want it to stop. So it's called quality control. Variations in human behavior, which we call individuality today, is poor quality control. In the future, the question people, then wouldn't everybody be uniform then? Well, the question of uniformity is essentially this. They will uniformly like anyone they meet, uniformly share ideas and resources, uniformly share knowledge with everyone else, and uniformly courteous to everyone else. That's the only kind of uniformity. As far as the accumulation of wealth, property, and power, this will be considered part of the age of the Bulgarians. To us, this is all normal. This is a thing to do, to become successful. Well, in my early days, I wanted to be successful, and a company came to me and he said, we have a bunch of Mexican women and Indian women that sit at a conveyor belt, and they pick the black beans, and they pick the white beans, throw them in another box, and they said, can you improve that? I said, how far do you want to go? How many beans can you deliver? So what I did in the early days is I built a big bicycle wheel with hollow spokes that turned like an airplane propeller into a vat of beans, sucking up one bean to each vacuum tube. And then there was a photoelectric cell here. If the bean was black, it tripped it with a wire. And as you sit and watch, those beans went up like this in the big vat. And in 8 hours, we did the work that 50 women took 3 months to do. Now, I would like my machines to come in, but I would like them to get a shorter workday, an increase in purchasing power. If machines do not improve the lives of people that work in automobile factories, if they're automated out of existence, so will you be automated out of existence. All of us can be automated out. Roxanne recently had some area, she does architectural renderings, site plans. There are machines that do that some years ago. CAD. There are machines today that make models. If you take a vase and put it on the table and it's scanned, they have a laser beam that penetrates a fluid and solidifies that fluid in the exact shape of that vase. You can do it to England, China, anywhere in the world. And I want to repeat this. Machines today, that is 3 months ago, could handle 500 trillion bits of information per second. I don't care how many humans you get together, there's no place for human behavior in the next 20 years. There's no place for human participation in the next 20 years, or maybe less. No one can predict the future precisely. I am not gentle. I don't pull my punches. I can't afford it. I respect you. I like you too much. I would rather tell you things as they are, not generate additional illusion.